All right, hello everybody. I'm Josiah, and I'm here to look inside the lines on what are these coaches saying, and more importantly, what are they not saying. Today we're doing the Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer. We know what's happening on the offense with the Cowboys 9 times out of 10, but I'm curious to learn more about what are they thinking about the defense, and especially that secondary. So let's get to it.
Hey guys, how we doing?
He's chill.
Cal. Hi.
Hey Calvin.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas. Oh, sorry, no, wait. Good catch. Look at you.
Stop glazing me. Stop glazing me. That was for Todd Archer, who's not here. You know.
He'll be here soon.
I know.
I think Saturday. Oh, sorry.
You got a question?
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News.
No.
PJ Locke, what happened to him yesterday?
Yeah, I was having a great practice, covering down and hyperextend his knee. All tests look great. He will be out today. Get him moving around a little bit with Britt and those guys, but nothing significant.
How did your 2 first-round picks look yesterday in Downs and Malachi?
I thought there was a play that Caleb got beat on in the spring. I showed it to the team, Calvin, where CD got him on a little maneuver route in the slot, and the same route came up yesterday, and Caleb gloved it. And it was to the point that I made about Caleb. He doesn't repeat mistakes. So that was great to see. And then with Malachi, again, I noticed him more yesterday in setting the edge in the run game, using his length than I did as a pass rusher. Obviously, there's halo around the quarterback, so they can't get close anyways. But I did think he did a hell of a job of setting edges, using his length, and kind of creating that knockback that limits running lanes for the offense.
Okay, good stuff. Questions about the rookies, Caleb Downs and Malachi Lawrence, who the Cowboys drafted pretty early. They had other draft picks too, but those are the 2 people that we care the most about because they'll actually be on the field pretty early on. And pretty basic answer here, really just giving us the positives. I usually like to learn a little bit more about what are the areas that they need to work on, like where are you seeing mistakes happen. And he did mention a small mistake that Caleb mentioned had in the spring, but I mean like today, like what are we working towards? So we'll see if we get any more of that.
Until DLLS Cowboys, Dak Prescott, at least we found out yesterday, has a new name for the offense. I think it's the greatest offense there is. Gotti, can you talk about that? Are y'all guided?
Yeah. I mean, that's what they came up with, so that's what we are. And I think they came up with it in Park City. They went out there, did a lot of work together. They did some skiing, some golfing, some things like that. They FaceTimed me in a few times. Most of those guys are terrible golfers. But, this is a player-led group, and I support it.
Just talk about that, the excitement of the offense. Clearly, they feel good about what they can do. Obviously, year 2 with calling the plays and stuff. Would just working, can Dak take another step?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I think, I talked a little bit about, Dak's ability to work, Dak's ability to find his flow and his routine going into year 10, whatever it is. But, another year with George, Fergie, taking another step, Javonte coming back. I mean, a lot of these pieces were new. George was new last year. Javonte was new last year. We as a staff have to do our part with the evolution of the offense. We're working extremely hard on that, knowing that everybody studied us last spring trying to figure out what we were going to be. But yeah, I have a lot of confidence in this group. I'm really excited about watching what the offensive line becomes, because I really do believe they're going to be the key to the evolution, whether that's the tackle competition, Tyler Booker, Cooper Beebe going to year 2 and year 3, and then Tyler Smith continuing to be the great player that he is. It was actually fun for me yesterday watching Tyler Smith and Quentin Williams go at it, 2 of the better ones in the game. And then I grabbed Beebe after practice, asked him how he felt, and he said, I'm good. He said, going against Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams every day is going to make me better. So these guys understand that the concept of iron sharpens iron, but the offensive line is going to be key to what we want to do offensively.
Basic question, but Brian really made the question better by just giving a little bit more context on how he's seeing things. Cowboys offense looks good on paper, had a really good season last year on offense, and we're expecting the same thing this year. I am always curious about the backup running back position because that's one spot I think they can improve on. And then, like you said, offensive line is always everything for the Cowboys, and it's usually pretty good.
I'm sure with the Athletic, understanding it was only a practice without pads on the mat. Anything that particularly that you liked or didn't like from it yesterday?
Yeah, I thought we got some great screen work. I mean, that's something that we really want to work on both offensively and defensively, some of the recognition and stuff. I thought that was great. I thought the communication in the run game, John was awesome from the offensive line. The defense has given us some really good looks. I thought that was great. I thought that, the overall effort was a little bit inconsistent. They're getting their legs up underneath them. I get that. I showed some clips today of the standard and then showed some clips today of what's not the standard. And so anxious to see how that looks. And then the other thing I would say is, great punch out by Rashawn Gary. So the ball security aspect continues to grow. I told those guys on defense this morning, sitting to me, I said, you guys make us better by doing that. So we call them shots on ball. There were some great shots on ball and a few pre-snap penalties on offense. You'll see us working some silent cadence stuff today. But, first day, some good, some bad, a lot of things to clean up.
Ooh, love that. And see, we're getting more clarity around, what are we doing to get better? I love focusing on penalties because nothing pisses me off more than offensive line penalties or silly defensive penalties that are easily avoidable and that you want to go ahead and work through early on in training camp. Really, just all good stuff. It's just good to get clarity on, hey, where's the team at? Where are we struggling? Consistency is something you're always going to hear a lot about early on in training camp. That's when you push the pace, trying to see what can we really get out of these guys. So that's all usually expected too.
No pads on, but nice run from Jaden Blue, got out into space.
Yeah.
What are you seeing from him?
Well, number one, it was really well blocked. It was a fire zone, and the offensive line kind of picked it up. They saw it coming and picked it up, which is a big part of it. Anytime you run a fire zone and people are moving laterally, you create running lanes. And what I loved about the run itself was Jaden's pace to the hole and then through the hole. And we know what type of speed he has. It was good to see. We did get on him a little bit about celebrating. We call it logos and letters. Make sure you get in the end zone, pass the logos to the letters before you celebrate. But he had a really, really good day yesterday. I thought he had a great practice. I thought Joe Milton had a great practice. And then, Jalen Thompson showed up all over the film yesterday. So a lot of really, really good things. Donovan Ezeraku, awesome. Welcome back. We just really looked like we thought he would look going into year two.
The question was about Jaden. He really hyped him up there, which is good because last season he disappointed me. I expected a bit more out of the touches he got, but he also didn't touch the ball a ton, so it's not the biggest deal. And then he also touched on Donovan Ezeraku, one of the linebackers for the team, and someone else who I'm blanking on. But really just sounds like there's a lot of players making good progress, which is what you want to see, especially for someone like Jaden Blue, who I am a little worried about.
Telegram, Jalen Thompson's one of the ones I wanted to expound upon, just seeing his speed on the field. It's the first time you've seen him in these team periods. You got what you thought you did so far?
Yeah. I think we knew that, Nick, but again, you look at the player, it jumps off the film, then you look at the person and you see why he's that way. And I think he said today he's going into year 8. I think. Hook's year 10. I think JT is year 8. When your best players practice that way, that's usually the standard for success because all the young guys are trying to still figure it out, which they are. The young guys are still trying to figure it out. They see that, they replicate that, and then you've got a bunch of guys practicing that way.
Obviously, you like the Gary punch out on the flip side, the coaching point to Phil Maffa, and how do you see him respond?
Actually, Phil really had the ball. We call it head, body, tail. He did a really good job. Iron cross, another way people referred to it. He was doing it right. It was just a very explosive, powerful, great intent by Rashawn. And I thought Phil had a really good day yesterday as well.
Tommy.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of Phil. It's about Phil Maffa. He's the fourth string quarterback, fourth string running back, for the Cowboys, and he only had 5 touches last year, so a little surprised to hear he was out there while Rashawn Gary was also out there, which means there might be some more packages that include Phil, which makes sense. You can't have Javonte out there all year and expect him to still be really, really good in the playoffs, which is what you are really wanting to make a push for this year. So you're going to have to get guys like Jaden Blue more involved and Phil Maffa, maybe even Malik Davis. So I'm interested to see what they do there.
DallasCowboys.com. Some of the guys that were sidelined during the spring, Donovan, Duran, Bland, how did they come out yesterday physically?
Yeah, they all feel really good. I thought I've already mentioned Easy. I thought Duran, his instincts, reading three-step, things like that was really, really good. Looked very comfortable. The thing I'm really proud of, if you watch and you look at the catapult numbers, the way our defensive secondary ran to the ball, we had, I think, every guy get over 19 or something miles an hour. I mean, they were hauling ass. That's a testament to, Derek Ansley, Ryan Smith, Rob Muschamp, CP. I mean, they were running to the ball, and it's important.
And
The cornerback situation and just DBs in general, I'll say cornerbacks, are really one of the main question marks for the Cowboys. Health has been part of the issue, but you want to see and hear good things about guys like Kobe Durant, Dayron Bland, and there's more here. Like even Revel Jr., like that's another player you really want to hear positive things about. Like you need these guys to be doing well alongside the rookie Caleb Downs.
talk about evolving the offense. Javonte in his past has been more involved in other offenses in the passing game. Is getting your running backs involved in the passing game more a wrinkle that you'd like to add this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think we know Javonte can do it. I think, what we feel like we have in Jaden. When you're playing defenses that are trying to change the math and cheat to really elite receivers, which we have, there's usually a favorable matchup in that regard. What that looks like, we're still seeing. I mean, we've got ideas and scheme and plays, but at the end of the day, what are we good at? What do we like? What do we own? What do we not care what they're in? But yes, that would be part of the evolution.
A coach is never going to say we're not going to throw it to our running back. I was surprised Javonte wasn't a part of the passing attack too much last year. Like, he only had 35 receptions, which isn't terrible, but way less than I thought he was going to. I thought he might push, up to 50. But, good to know they're still thinking about him that way.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. Speaking of the evolution, Dak Prescott's been really good on seam passes throughout his entire career. Last year, anecdotally, it felt like maybe it wasn't to the same level as previously. I don't know if you agree with that or not. How do you kind of take advantage of the seams, again, going into this season?
Again, you guys probably have numbers, so I'm not going to say it's not. I didn't feel that way. I mean, I think the first one that pops up, there's really two that pop up. We missed Fergie in the season opener on a vertical 3x1 seam. Dak kind of overthrew it. And Fergie couldn't put under through that one. And then the other one I'm thinking about is against the Jets. We had another one where they were kind of in third down exotics. They were mugged up, and Fergie got down the middle, and Dak missed that one. So there's some big plays in cover, in the seams. I mean, we had one against Carolina callback. Fergie thought he got his feet down. He didn't. I'd love for people to give us seam throws. That'd be great. But I also know that that's something teams are trying to take away from us.
And Brevin Spanford, obviously, you guys have been really excited about him. What excites you about him, and I guess what have you seen from his potential over the last few years that would suggest?
Yeah, you'd be remiss if you didn't mention Brevin's play style. One, the physicality that he plays with, the wiring that he has.
Oh, wait, no, he's not a rookie anymore. He was drafted in 2025.
Just, tough physical football player that loves the physical aspect of the game. Can be dominant in the run game and protection phase, but what he's developing from a pass receiving standpoint at the top of the route, the tight turns, the power cuts, things like that, that's where I've noticed the biggest gain. And he's a big target. You got a guy working in the middle of the field. He's a big target.
Oh, I think maybe they're talking about Ryan Flournoy. I don't know why I heard Shimon Rebel Jr.
And he's actually a lot better run after catch guy than you think. Think back to Chicago, Chicago game late. And so I think as he continues to stack and improve that area of his game, just adds so much value to our tight end room.
Oh, Brevin Spanford. What am I on, bruh? Yeah, talking about Brevin. So that makes sense. Good to know he's doing well, playing well. Jake Ferguson's the guy, but if he goes down, solid backups.
Hey, Coach. Patrick Walker at DallasCowboys.com. You kind of touched on Malik Hooker a little bit earlier. How critical was it to, keep Hooker on staff or on the roster, despite having added Jalen Thompson and ultimately adding Caleb Downs, kind of giving you guys not only an impactful three-man rotation at safety, but also the ability to run through the safety system?
Yeah, for sure. Well, the flexibility that JT gives us, being able to play inside in the nickels before you get a guy like Caleb Downs. Our safety room is stacked, quite honestly. The guy that was flying around yesterday, that I'd be remiss, is Elijah Clark. I mean, this guy was all over the field, taking shots on the ball, moving fast. But, Hook is such a good communicator. Hook loves the X's and O's part of the game. Like, I mean, I would bet he probably has hundreds, 50 notebooks of all the different things. I mean, he loves the chess match that there is. And so his ability to communicate, his ability to understand what we're doing, his ability to tie things together for us back there, I think is huge. And he's very, very good fit for this defensive style that we're playing.
Michael Coleman, KLTV, East Texas. Good seeing you at DeMar Bill's wedding.
Yes, sir.
A couple months ago.
Yes, sir. It's a fun time.
Why are they outside? Why are we outside? I don't know.
Healthy, Bland, and Overshown. How lit can this defense be with them both on the field at the same time?
Yeah, again, I think I've talked a lot about how excited I am about this defense. And again, the scheme's cool, but it's not the scheme that brings it to life, right? It's the players. And you just mentioned two of those guys with Duran and Demo and some of the additions that we've brought in here. Kobe Durant, I mean, what a good football player. I mean, Donovan Ezaraku going into year two. We're excited about Malachi Lawrence. Shamar James going into year two. Another guy had a great day yesterday was Barham. I mean, you watch Barham. I mean, even playing for a rookie, playing in
Barham's a linebacker.
Helmets only, but the ability to block, destruct, and get off blocks and things like that. It's a heavy-handed guy that, you know, we love the versatility of him to be on and off the ball, stuff like that. So I'm so excited to see what this defense is going to do this year.
Yeah, he highlighted a lot of people. He mentioned Deron Bland, cornerback. Again, we're really focusing on these cornerbacks, hyping up Kobe Durant a bit. He mentioned Demo, so Devin Moore, a backup cornerback as well. Again, these backup cornerbacks you want to hear good things about. Devin Moore, Siobhan Ravel. Like, just because Bland has had some like foot issues, like you know, the likelihood he's going to play every game. You just want to have good depth there. And like you mentioned, I've always liked the safeties for the Cowboys. I know sometimes they can blow some coverages, but for the most part, like, they're pretty solid. It's always the cornerbacks that I've been more disappointed in. And then bringing in Caleb Downs should only help things and allow them to be more flexible and moving guys around and confusing offenses. I think it could be a little sneaky.
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio 105.3 The Fan. Back during camp and talking about the competition at left tackle, you said that you were going to give each guy a day rather than sharing within series or series to series. Is that the plan here, or is it going to be more, you talked yesterday about 4-day increments?
Yeah, with the 4-day cycle, Chris, we've talked about that, and we've kind of gone back and forth. We're going to give those guys more of a 4-day cycle. So you'll see Guyton out there again today at left tackle for a couple days. Why is that? Well, I mean, guys have bad practices from time to time. They have great practices, but it doesn't show you the full scope of what they're doing. So we're going to go 4-day cycles. I want to mention Drew Shelton. You know, he's playing right tackle yesterday. He's going to be a swing tackle potential guy for us, but he was outstanding for a rookie in his first NFL practice. The poise and the way he feels the game and the way he thinks. We've got talented pieces. We just got to get those guys playing consistently like I talked about yesterday, and it'll be a fun battle for those guys to compete in and for you guys to watch.
Interesting. Okay, so they're talking about the right tackle? No. Left tackle's the spot that they have some guys fluctuating in. Like, there's Tyler Guyton, 2024 draft pick. He's getting a lot of the touches right now, but it sounds like they're going to go back and forth between him and Nate. But it sounds like originally the plan was to alternate every day, but then they realized that there's bad practices that can happen, so they want to do 4-day rotations. That worries me a bit. That left tackle position is so important. You do really need to figure it out. At least maybe that first preseason game, you can go through that and try and alternate. I know most teams don't play their starters in that second game. I don't know. I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do there either, but I think that is huge for them. It seems like they feel like they have the right guys here, though, between Tyler Guyton, Nate Thomas, and Drew Shelton. I did not expect the Drew Shelton mention, but the fact that he's even talking about him in this same question, it makes me feel like maybe he's viable too. I mean, Tyler Guyton's the bigger guy. I think he's who you would ideally have as your starter at left tackle. And the fact that we're even having this conversation just means that he's not up to par. And even the fact that they extended the days makes me feel like Guyton probably had a rough practice. And so they're like, hey, let's see if a couple more days he can get something together. would make me nervous as a Cowboys fan somewhat, because it just sounds like Guyton's not having a great training camp so far, and that's why they're trying to buy him some time. Like, hey, get your shit together, see what you can figure out before we have a guy like Nate Thomas come in and might outshine you, and we have way less issues. Like, get your stuff together so we can figure it out. And Drew Shelton's there too. Is like, hey, Nate, if you can't do it, Drew might. Hey, I hope they can figure this out. I mean, the rest of their offensive line's pretty solid, so that can sometimes help, but that left tackle spot is huge, so we'll see what happens there. Something to keep an eye out on for sure.
Just to follow up on that, is that on the defensive side of the ball as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they're a little bit more of a move pieces a little bit by day, like Caleb's down, okay, JT's back, JT's down, Caleb's back, things like that. But we're not real big into one day at a time. Now, we'll do that with the quarterbacks. Like Sam will work more with the twos today, and Joe will get the rest. Different. Yesterday, Joe got most of the twos, and Sam got the reps, but it's a little bit different by position.
Hey, Coach, Nicole Hutchison, DallasCowboys.com. Talking about Ryan Flanoy, it looks like he kind of put on some muscle mass. Was that a conversation that maybe you had this offseason for him, maybe a point of emphasis, and what are you looking for after him getting through?
Yeah, can't wait. I thought he had a really good day yesterday. I think it's just the work ethic of the guy is incredible. Another offseason award winner. I think it's more of a fact of him knowing his body, being in year 3, working with Harold Nash, Kendall, Braylon, Cedric, those guys in the weight room, and kind of knowing what he wants. And then as you grow up, you start, I haven't quite figured it out yet, but you figure out your diet, you figure out what you're putting in your body, things like that. I just think he's ready for a huge, huge step this year. And he was fed a lot of confidence last year, as you guys know. Detroit, the Jets. I mean, he knows he belongs. He knows he's a really, really good football player.
Can you imagine being the third receiver on this team? You have CeeDee Lamb, you have George Pickens, and then Ryan Flanoy. You're getting ripped because you need to block, my guy. Get out there and block.
How does Drew Shelton factor into this mix when you start stacking the tackles together?
Yeah, well, again, he's not going to get as many reps as the other guys till you get to probably preseason. So he's just got to trust the process, Nick, take it one day at a time. And, he's a guy that, again, played on the left. Now he's playing on the right. Sometimes we're going to move the guys to the left without them even knowing, because that's what happens in a game. You're like, hey, guess what? You're left tackle. So that's real. But he just needs to keep stacking days. If he keeps doing what he did yesterday, then he's going to get more and more ops.
It's just crazy that he keeps going on these rants. I think he's really hyping him up. So maybe it's just like a morale boost. It's like, hey, man, you're playing great. I'm going to talk you up if you keep playing well in training camp. So, that could be it. But I don't know. It makes me a little uncomfortable.
When it comes to Mike linebacker, do you need to see him in a preseason game or even the scrimmages before you can get that full, real evaluation of what you got there? Because there's so much communication at that spot.
Yeah, the answer is no. We get plenty of reps out here. Speaking of that, there was a really cool situation that came up yesterday where CP was trying to make Demo think that the headset went out. It didn't go out. We had kind of talked about it and scripted it, and Demo got to the exact call that he was supposed to, which is what you expect. So it was not a malfunction of the headset. It was something scripted, and Demo was outstanding getting us lined up into the call that we wanted to be in.
Demo is DeMarvion Overshawn, Mike linebacker there that he's talking about.
Coach Michelle Montague, WBA, just said a little bit ago you're really, really excited to see what this defense is going to do this year. How does that excitement compare to maybe how you felt this time a year ago?
I'm always excited. I just love what I do. I love coaching these young men. But I think, when you think back on it, the defense obviously took, the brunt of the criticism. I put myself right at the top of that heap as the head coach. But I think I'm excited because of how hard these guys are working, all the changes that we've made, But, we haven't done anything yet, and we need to do it. And as a football team, you need to be really good in all 3 phases, and that's what we hope we become, because we think that if we're strong in all 3 phases, we'll be a tough out. Yeah, thank you, guys.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I like Brian. He's a solid coach there. I think that was good. Really good questions from the reporters, which I always appreciate. Good, thoughtful questions. And we got a ton of insight on pretty much every spot on this team. And so I can't wait to see what we learn next. Let me know if y'all like this. Like, subscribe. Feel free to comment and let me know if you agree, how you feel the Cowboys are doing, where they're heading. But that's going to be it here, y'all. Peace out. Bye.